Hello guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, coming back at you with some more Blood Angels from the awesome new army set. Now, I have so far given you a couple of videos already, including one of the new characters, and of course the beautiful new Dreadnought, all with custom parts. Well, I've done exactly the same thing today with my Death Company. I have added a bunch of custom 3D printed parts, actually from 3 different sources, to kind of make these models stand out a little bit more on the battlefield. I think they should be a little bit cooler and stand outish, and because there's not a specific model for them anymore, like a model kit with all the correct shoulder pads and nice torsos and kind of embellished weaponry, I find that the Games Workshop equivalent to a Death Company member now, it's a little bit dull, so I wanted to do something special. So that's what I'm going to do in today's video. I'm going to print out a bunch of cool parts, get the models assembled, and get one of them painted up for you on today's video. So it should be a little bit of fun. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that supports me in all the myriad of ways in which you can support me, whether it's just watching my videos, giving the videos likes, commenting, and making sure you're subscribed. Subscribing to the channel costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. And anyone who goes above and beyond and is either a channel member or a member of the Patreon, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Without you guys, I cannot continue doing what I am doing. So as always, I will thank you at the start of every video because it really does mean a lot. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in and get this Death Company member painted up. Okay, so this is the miniature in question. As you can see, it is the new Assault Intercessors and then some of the kind of Blood Angel upgrade parts, although there isn't anything except for the heads from my guys on these Blood Angels, on these miniatures. The 2 shoulder pads, which one is a Death Company shoulder pad, one is a Flesh Tear shoulder pad, and one is a set of Dante's wings, or at least that's what the file is called on Cults. 3 different files from 3 different locations put together to make my Death Company for my Flesh Tears. I know a lot of you are thinking, why in God's name does your Death Company have wings? Well, because I like them. I think they look awesome. I think all of my Assault Infantry for my Blood Angel is going to have a pair of these awesome wings. And I like the idea of the Sanguinary Guard and the Death Company kind of being like yin and yang, you know, the golden, glorious, white feathered like saviors versus the like butcher killers kind of thing. Like, you imagine Death Company are quite crazy and quite insane on the battlefield. And you know, Flesh Tear is quite insane and quite crazy on a battlefield. So when you put those 2 things together, what do you get? Well, you get a flying killing machine, which is what I've got here. So with the painting of these guys, I'm going to keep it simple and follow pretty much the same method that I did for my Black Templars. That's the same kind of black armor that I'm going for my guys. In order to achieve this, I first gave the model a spray of Chaos Black, and then I sprayed over the top of that with Lead Belcher. You can of course do Lead Belcher with a brush if you want to. I just have the can to hand, so it makes it very easy, very quick to do. After this, we're going to move over to Black Templars Contrast and paint in all of the armor panels with this color. Make sure you take your time, go panel by panel. Like, as you can see here, I'm not like lashing the paint on. I'm following like from foot to knee, and I'm doing that whole section as one. If you do this, you won't get much pooling, or any pooling if you do it correctly, and you'll get a nice smooth coat of black. After that, we grab the Flesh Tears Red Contrast and we blocked in all the parts of this miniature that we want to do red. So obviously for Death Company, their weapon casings tend to be red. So he's got a Power Fist, which I'm not sure I should have done red, but I didn't want to leave it out. I didn't have a chainsword to do like the shaft of it in red, so I decided to go for the housing of the Power Fist. And then of course he's got a Melta pistol in his hand. This guy's the sergeant of the squad, if there is a sergeant of a Death Company squad. I don't think there is, but one guy can have a Power Fist and a Melta. This is him. So obviously the casing of that. And then any of the ex-Death Company symbols that you can see, the cross slashes. So obviously he's got one on his right shoulder pads, and then there's some banding around his legs that we're going to do in red as well, just to kind of pay homage to that Death Company thing. Now, of course, the thing that I added into my miniature is the big beautiful wings. Now, originally I was going to do them black when I first kind of glued them onto the miniature. That's what was going in my head. And then I remembered the Blood Angels Chaplain, the Jump Chaplain miniature that exists on the Games Workshop website. He has beautiful dark crimson red wings, and I thought that's even better. I like that. Obviously, the red is already a big part of Death Company, and it will kind of break up all of the black that exists on this miniature and kind of add a little bit more of like a sinister tone to it. So I just followed through with that Flesh Tears Red and got that done. Forgot to show the paint here, but this is just Retributor Armor Gold across their chest emblem. It's the only gold that exists on them. Death Company are not, like I said, they're not the glorious Sanguinary Guard. They're not the good guys, if you will. The honored members of the chapter there. They do get to wear the golden eagle across their chest, obviously, but that's about it. Nearly there with the base coats now. There's just a few bits and pieces left to do before we can wash the miniature. So the first things first, Bugman's Glow. And we're just going to block in that face. So when I built these guys, originally I was cutting out and cleaning up all of the helmets, and then I decided, you know what, no, I'm going to do them all with the Blood Angels heads to tie in. And then I looked up some information on them, some background and some lore stuff that I didn't know before. And it is very common for Death Company to go into battle without a helmet on. So it suits them even better. And then it gives me this awesome Blood Angels face. And like I said, it helps break up all the black as well. A quick base coat on the hair. Obviously, they're still Blood Angels, so they mostly have the golden locks. So a simple base coat of Morghast bone for that. You could do Xandri dust or any of those kind of beigey colors if you have them to hand. Look kind of funny here, but we will fix it with a wash and some tidying up later on. So Nuln Oil was then used to wash the entire miniature. Every single part of this model is going to get washed in Nuln Oil, top to bottom. Make sure it doesn't pool anywhere. You know, use your judgment, take some control. We don't need blobs lining down the leg or, you know, pooling inside his gorget or anything like that, or his gorget. That will kind of ruin the aesthetic. So just take your time. Make sure you get a nice coat. Now, while this is drying, I'm going to do the entire base as well. Now, all of my Space Marines, every single chapter I do, all of them are based on Martian soil. Why do I do this? Because I love the look of the Martian soil. I have a very simple way of doing it. I think it looks absolutely incredible. And this way, if I ever want to play larger scale games and join different Space Marine forces that I own together, they look like a one cohesive force because they're all based the same. Very simple thing, but I love it. So you will just see in a second me kind of clicking my fingers and the miniature is now fully based. So don't worry about that. Okay, so with that, it's now time to start kind of working up the armor a little bit. And for that, we're just going to do something very simple. We're going to get a lead belcher and we're going to give it a light dry brush. Now, it doesn't really matter what else on the miniature you hit with this because everything else is going to get layered up anyway. So a very light, catching all the edges, adding in little scratches and scrapes to these miniatures with the silver is going to work out great. It's going to, like I said, it's going to pick out all the definition on the armor. It's still going to be a deep, rich black, but just kind of worn and kind of, these guys are battle frenzied killers. They like jumping down into the craziest part of the battlefield and just going down swinging. So they're of course never going to be in pristine, perfect armor. So the light droppers of silver kind of really works with that. Now, after that, we just have a couple of other details that then need to start, of course, being picked up. So we're going to start with Fist on red, and we're going to go for a two-stage highlight on all of the red parts, not the wings right now, just the other parts. So obviously the casing of his power fist, his melta pistol, and then the red X's across his shoulder pad, and then the bands around his legs. So these are kind of the red details. Try and find as many red details as you can to incorporate into your Death Company. It will make a huge difference. So obviously I have the Flesh Tear symbol, of course, on my shoulder pad now. So we're going to do the blood drop in the center of that as red as well. Obviously being careful with those lines. So we are going to jump up once again and we're going to go for Evil Sun Scarlet. And we're going to use this to add the final highlight onto all those kind of red bits that we just did, the casing and the X and stuff like that. Just to make it pop that little bit more, make sure it stands out beautifully against the black. Now, obviously, we don't want the wings to be bright, vibrant red. I think that would be kind of counterintuitive. I don't think that's going to suit them. It's not supposed to be a mark of honor like the Blood Angels color festoon on their wings. So for that, we are going to jump over to a different crimson. We're going to go for corn red. We're going to do a simple one-stage highlight of corn red across the wings to make those details pop out as well. It's a very simple thing. Like I said, I do quite enjoy adding these guys into my Flesh Tears, but I don't actually know whether the Flesh Tears have a contingent of Death Company. Like, I've read most of the Flesh Tears novels that do exist. I've read most of their lore, and I can't remember them having any Death Company. Don't know why this is. There might be a piece of lore that I'm missing here that I need to go and look up, but I'm still legally allowed to have them in the Codex, so I'm going to have them, just like I'm going to have Dante, Sanguinary Guard, as a contingent that has joined these Flesh Tears for this particular mission, or this particular, like it's a portion of the fighting and devastation of Baal, and Dante has swooped down with the Sanguinary Guard to lend aid to Seth. Speaking of Seth, where is Seth? Not in the Codex, that's where. Not that I'm bitter. Okay, so Liberator Gold is going to be brought in, and then we're going to do a quick highlight on his golden chest with that. Once again, just a light touch highlight. Make that beautiful gold stand out. I wonder how long it will take me to get through the rest, the other 9 members of this. I'm going to have to kind of carve out some time and get them done, because I really do want to see what an entire squad looks like dropping in, you know, Astaroth on one side and Lamartes on the other. I think it's going to be pretty gnarly. As you can see, I just got any kind of off-white color. Ulthuan Grey is a great one. Celestial Grey is a great one. Make sure you stick to the same one with whatever you do to base coat in or to layer up the saw blade across the flesh tear symbol. Now I've just got a little bit of silver once again on that dry brush, and I just want to add a little bit of chipping and weathering back into those red details. So across his power fist, obviously he's been punching through things with this, so that's going to be chipped and damaged, and then catch the edges of the red on the bolt pistol as well. Now it's time to layer up the flesh. Now obviously we've done a really nice rich base coat with the Bugman's Glow, and then we've got a Null and Oil to darken down a little bit. So we're going to go in for the Cadian flesh tone and then up through Kislev flesh for highlighting the face. Like I said, these are the new Blood Angels upgrade parts. These faces are absolutely amazing. Look, I love them so much. So I'm going to take my time with every one of them. I'm going to give them their full treatment, like three, 4 stages of highlighting to get them to be really sharp and really nice. Because like I said, I think they're going to be a really key feature on a unit of Death Company. You could have done a black helmet. I just think it's a bit, yeah, I think it'll be too dark. I really like the extra oomph of color that the face is giving me. And then of course Kislev flesh going in for the very light last highlight. Blood Angels do tend to have kind of paler skin. Obviously the vampiric style of them is showing through a little bit with that aesthetic, but we'll go for it anyway. As you can see, the face is looking swish. We're going to go for a bit of Wraithbone now, and for this we're going to use that to highlight his teeth. So make sure they do actually have the vampiric fangs, so make sure they're highlighted so they stand out in the mouth. Once again, it's only a very quick step. It takes 2 seconds to do, but it will make all the difference. Carrick Stone was then used to highlight the hair. Once again, he's got his wispy blonde hair. Now, I don't know what happened to the footage of the wings being layered up. It seems to have disappeared out of the archive. I don't know what happened to it. But I did layer up each and every individual feather on the back of the wings with a bit of corn red just to make it pop a little bit. And with that, we finished off our final kind of bit of painting, and we have our completed Death Company Space Marine. I adore how he looks. I really think the wings added an extra kind of oomph. I think they look absolutely cool. I think they're cool. I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are on them. Do you think the wings are a little bit too much, or do you really like how they look like I do? There's no wrong answer as long as you agree with me. And yeah, let me know what other Blood Angels things you want to see in the coming weeks. Okay guys, and there we have it. The first member of my new Death Company unit for my Flesh Tears is now built and painted up. I have the other 9 guys already fully built. I just need to get some paint on them, which will happen very soon. And my Flesh Tears shall take to the field with a little extra punch. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you do the 3 things which you should really do if you watch any and all creators out there. Which is, if you watch their videos, give it a like. Ask any questions if you have anything to say, and put it in the comments. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. Those 3 things cost you nothing, but it makes all the difference to pushing out these videos to be viewed by more people and helping the channels to grow. So thank you guys out there for doing that in advance. All right, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. There will be some more Blood Angels goodness coming very soon, so look out for that. And I will see you guys in the next video.